Alumni Spotlight. Pat Dochenetz here. Haven't been giving the big guys enough love here, so I figured today was a good day to get the big guys involved. And as a former running back, I used to pride myself on trying to give the big guys love, and I was just thinking like, man, we could get some more big guys in here. So appreciate you coming in, Pat.
Absolutely. You got a ton in the program. Got to get them back on here.
That's right. Some great ones for sure. So, Pat played for us had an injury his junior year in 2009. We're fortunate to get that medical red shirt and get him back in 2010. In 11 was his last year, then graduated after that. So, thinking back, you came in then, if it's 9, 8, so you came in at 7, graduated high school in 2007 at old Grain Blank up there in Michigan. And I've butchered that many a times, calling it Blanc, right? Just the way it's spelled, I guess.
Got to put some flair on it.
Cody's giving me a hard time about that, too. For those that don't know, Cody Cruzen, same high school as Pat, and Aaron Esposito before that. So,
yeah.
And Blank's been good to us. But why don't you talk about what you're up to these days, Pat?
These days, I'm living back in Michigan. My wife and I bought a house pretty close to where I graduated from, about a half hour or so. I am still going on my 8th year as a sales representative for the Verdon Company out of Cincinnati, Ohio. It's the oldest family-owned and operated business in the state of Ohio.
Bells and clocks, right?
Bells and clocks, yes.
We've talked a few times about trying to get a victory bell. You got to try to get the money together one of these days to get a victory bell. So
absolutely,
maybe they can chip in one of these days, and we'll get you some business and get a victory bell.
Yeah, we'll get something going here. Once things kind of calm down, we can get that back on the books. But having a lot of fun. Been helping out, coaching a little bit, which is extremely rewarding. Didn't realize, kind of probably wished I would have realized how much I enjoyed it before graduating. But everything happens for a reason. I'm very, very happy.
Well, I know you've brought guys to games, several times the last few years. So some of the guys you're coaching back at Grand Blanc, bringing them down. So we appreciate that. It's always good to see you, and the fact you bring a few recruits along that's a bonus as well. So we appreciate that. I know talking with a few of those players, they really think highly of you as helping out back there and coaching. So keep up the good work. But that's pretty cool too. You've been in the same company for 8 years, so it is going pretty well.
Yeah,
I know we enjoy whenever you're coming down 75 to head back to Verdun, or along some of the sales trips when you can swing by the old village and see us. We always look forward to that. So there's always some good surprises every now and then when you get one of your pop-ins. So
absolutely, got to have fun.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about recruiting back in 2007. You finished up, a good high school program up there at Michigan. We already had Espo kind of here, but let's kind of think back. What do you remember about recruiting?
It was really cool because I think I was pretty aloof. It's funny. There's so much emphasis nowadays with recruiting and things like that. And in 2007, I don't want to sound like the old guy on the porch, but it wasn't quite where it's at nowadays with social media and everything. And, everybody was kind of getting involved in recruiting, but it wasn't the monster that it is now. Yeah. And I actually just got a phone call from one of my coaches who was Aaron's mentor and mine, and actually ended up being the guy that married my wife and I, Norm, and said, "You want to go down and watch a Grand Blanc alum finish up his college career?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely." I said, "Where are we going?" He goes, "Ada, Ohio." I went, "What the world is Ada, Ohio?" And then soon found out, came down for a game, became a recruiting visit, and just even throughout my process, being in Michigan and getting recruited by some schools in Michigan, D2 and D3, Northern just there was something about it that I always wanted to come back and take a visit and at least kind of see what it was all about, and was able to take that opportunity in the spring. And from there, I still remember, and I tell the story fondly, I had gone to several universities and thought I had found a home at one, had an unfortunate situation that thankfully opened up my interest again to look elsewhere. And I came down to Northern, and it wasn't even what I loved about how recruiting went back then. And from what I've seen, you guys still do the same thing. There was such an emphasis from the start of all the academics and everything else associated with it, that by the time we got to football, I was ready to go. And it was, okay, I found home, going down and figuring it out. And it's been it's been truly a blessing looking back on everything that I did end up going down just to watch a football game.
That's pretty cool. I love those stories and hearing that. And we sure are glad that worked out. You had a great career, multi-year all conference, multi-year starter, just, part of a great offensive line, especially that 2010 group was a important group because we had a lot of skilled guys coming back that year. We had some new starters in the O-line. You're coming off an injury, and we led the conference in rushing, and we were in the top in the nation. So that was a heck of a year there. And then having you one more year after that was a bonus. So
yeah, the victory lap.
But I think about that recruiting too. Those days there was, everybody had DVDs. You had little DVDs, and there was very few YouTube links to highlight tapes. But pretty much everybody would hand deliver a DVD, or we'd maybe talk to a coach like Norm and say, "Hey, we like this guy. He looks a big guy. Looks good. Let's check out his video." But you had to get it. That's kind of what you did. So it was you'd go on the road recruiting. You'd come back with a box of DVDs, or maybe you'd come on a visit. You'd bring a DVD with you. So it was definitely different. But
yeah, I still remember just the one quick comment when I brought my film down and left my film with the office, left for my visit, got a call from my recruiting coach. She goes, "Man, that running back you guys got, he's really good. What's his story?" And I was like, "Well, he's a junior, but yeah, he's getting looked at by the big time schools." And of course, that turned out to be Mark Ingram, who's
sure pretty good. Can really spot the talent, right? Pretty sure he wasn't going to take an offer from the Polar Bears, unfortunately, because he had one.
Oh, we'd have loved to have him though.
Probably from every single D1 team in the country. Huh? That's pretty cool. So let's talk about memories on the field. Part of some really big wins, and 2008 was a little bit of a rough year, but we caught things on track at the end of that year. That'd have been your probably first year getting a lot of playing time. And, but I don't know what stands out when you think about some of the big wins or some of the great moments.
I still remember, you talk 2008 was kind of where it all started. I came into camp as a sophomore, was competing with two seniors, competing both guard and tackle on the right side, and competing with two seniors as a sophomore was a tremendous honor. And the seniors got the nod going into the first week. And so kind of had a little bit of okay, let's see how this year plays out and keep fighting. And unfortunately, one of those seniors got injured in warmups. And
First game, right?
First game, yeah, before we got on the field. And I remember Coach Reichel calling me over, and he goes, "Hey, Steve broke his foot. You're in." And it was like, all right,
pre-game of the first game of the year against a nationally ranked team. So
against North Central in a hurricane.
Oh yes, it was rough. It'd be tough to throw the ball that day. That was for sure. So
yes, absolutely. So starting through that, and then just the adversity of that season, it was tough, but you think about it, and everybody talks about, well, we were 0-4 out the gate, which was tough. Every week you felt like you were in it. You didn't feel like it was going to happen, but then to go 5-1 down the stretch, and you could tell the momentum was starting to turn, and that's when the Jets got turned on. And
no doubt for the next year was a great season. The next 2 years were great years. And it's funny how you never know when we talk now about the surge. Like, when's the surge going to come? I mean, you got to stay positive. You're battling. You lose a couple games, but you keep working. You keep fighting. You stay positive. And all of a sudden, here that surge kind of gets going. It carries over for 2.5 years. So it's good stuff. So we appreciate guys like you keep working and fighting and staying positive. So it's good stuff.
Got to stay positive.
What's that?
Got to stay positive through it.
That's right.
If you don't laugh, you'll cry.
Good point. Let's write that down. What else, man? Anything else you think about some of the highlights or moments that
I always liked I used to obviously coming down to school with Cody Cruz and being friends with guys like Kyle Gilbert. We're all big wrestling fans and everything. And any wrestling fan will tell you the coolest things that come back. And thinking about that comeback, I had that big injury my junior year, coming back and literally getting hurt the last possible second to get that medical red shirt. But coming back that following year and kind of having that uneasiness of, what's the offensive line going to be? We had just lost some phenomenal talent up front with Rick and Andrew and Pat Smith and guys like that. And so coming back, just trying to find our identity, and just, I'll never forget working out. I think it was probably Justin Southwick, and we were working out shortly, I think the first workout coming back. And, you know, he might have said an expletive, but he goes, come on, man, screw it. Let's get after it. Let's just see out. And we kind of came together, and it was really cool seeing the momentum. And, you know, we had a short stumbling block getting beat by Mount Union, and it was just, we're not going to let this define us. And then went on a run and won some very cool games, and got a chance.
Played some really good football, and you know, finally in the second round I played great football up to that loss at North Central. But even that game could have probably kind of gone a little bit, you know, it was a tight game most of the game, and could have kind of been a little different. That team ended up, you know, really, you know, doing some damage further in the playoffs as well. So it just shows how close we were that particular year. So it's good stuff to reflect on, some great memories.
Oh, very cool. And, you know, you cap it with, yes, the North Central was unfortunate, but I just remember that Wittenberg playoff game and the atmosphere, and just I was watching the highlights of it, you guys doing the top 10 count. It was cool because I was a part of 5 of those teams in the top 10. Like, looking back,
pretty cool.
We were really, really good, you know, and seeing some of the guys and where they've been since then. But that Wittenberg game, you know, they came in with a big chip on, and we made them eat it that day.
Punched them right in the mouth, huh? Punched them right in the mouth. Well, we could go on and on forever. We better wrap up, and just so happy for you. You know, married now, and doing well with your career, and doing well with your little side hustle coaching as well. So we're proud of you. Appreciate, you know, love seeing you whenever you do get a chance to come down here. So appreciate your loyalty. You even invited me to the O-line Zoom call not too long ago. That was see some of the boys, and see some of them got real serious when I kind of came in there, and we had some fun that night for a few hours. So that was a good time. But you're a loyal Polo Bear, and we're real proud of you, and just looking forward to your future success. Okay, bud?
Appreciate it, boss.
Okay, man. I'll stop it right